All right. All right. We're going to talk about triple entry, bookkeeping, accounting, upward shift. What does it mean? Okay. Let me clean this here. All right. So, triple entry bookkeeping, real time triple entry bookkeeping. And who is doing it? What does it benefit you, the individual? How does it benefit you, the individual, the business? It's real simple. If you've come this far to this video, it's because you have reached some decent level of comprehension to understand and understand and overstand how business is conducted, why everyone essentially has an open ended credit system, why the money you spend is also the money you receive back. You're supposed to receive back. All right. This happens in both private and public transactions. That's why the IRS tax thing exists. So there is a cycle, loop of equity being redispersed. And essentially, this should add when everyone's doing it correctly, everyone's doing their part. I say, for example, everyone takes, a good portion of the day where we're like, okay, y'all, we're going to do today like we start a tradition where, excuse me, hold on. We start a tradition where we say, okay, everyone, at this time, this hour will be for bookkeeping and entries, real time. And so what we do is we keep a log of our expenses. The businesses who we do these expenses or transactions with work together with you to keep a log in real time. And then the businesses that they have involved that are directly influenced the transaction also are involved in the bookkeeping process. But see, if you go even further, you can go to a fourth bookkeeping partner, a fifth, a sixth. And these are all essentially the people involved or the businesses involved in whatever transaction it is you're doing. Whether it's something as buying a product, a service, working on a project, etc. Whatever is invested in gets immediately written and it gets immediately returned. The IRS tax system is a public system in where it was made so that you can recycle the money that was spent, whether as an individual or as a business. The reason it's been difficult is because, well, aside from old software engine models, some people couldn't get to the location to go establish one. Okay. And we don't account, I would say, some things are overlooked, like daily challenges. Okay. So, nonetheless, here we are. Where now you and whatever businesses you're doing business with can essentially open a online workspace where you for where the from the moment of your purchase or your consumer credit or your value considered and given and credit given and applied for, the moment it is done, it is the same moment that it is recorded in live real time. Okay. And it is the same moment in where, boom, it gets put towards the public system, for example, of the IRS. And then they balance their books. And it's like, okay, cool. Our books are balanced. Boom. Initiate equity reimbursements. And it just washes all the way back to you and your initial or initiation of a transaction. Wow. And ideally, this should balance the national debt. Now, unfortunately, there are some people who still think that there is going to be a challenge. I'm like, yeah, if you think there's going to be a challenge like shadows, like what if people can't keep up, for example? Yeah, we can talk about that. Will people be able to keep up? If they saw the benefit, how can they see the benefit? Well, immediately. If you put it correctly and you just do it immediately, then you immediately not only balance certain books and accounts, you immediately see your results in the form of the equity that is available to all. Hello. Now, I am using an online tool for this. And this workflow is this workflow I'm talking about. I am using something called Expensify. Now, mind you, Expensify is not paying me for this. Okay? They're not paying me. Okay? They're not sponsoring, none of that. And then I will add, if you really think about it, with this workflow, you're not really going to need sponsoring. Really. I mean, you can still get it, but with such workflow, you limit the need for sponsoring. Right? Sponsoring is still not bad. But you would just have to make sure that if you're sponsored, you write what you receive. They write what they receive, what the company writes what they sponsored to you. That goes all the way up to the IRS. The IRS and everyone else keeps the good record, makes the accounting done right there and then, real time with live people. And then, oh, okay, all right, this checks out good. This checks out good. Okay, that checks out good. This checks out this expense part, or this part of the expense checks out here, checks out here, checks out here. Okay, good. All right, and boom, we're all helping each other evolve with the system, essentially merging the new concepts or the concepts behind the quote unquote new system of peer-to-peer transactions. Now it's peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer transaction has brought in the realm of peer-to-peer accounting. This is literally peer-to-peer to peer to peer-to-peer, however many peers involved, accounting. Instantly done. All right. Now, some people may ask the question, well, if I get sponsored 1,000, okay, but I don't use that 1,000 till later anyways, the credit, what do? You're going to do the same thing. Once everyone got their equity already, okay, you receive your credit, a sponsoring, okay, kind of like a gift. You receive the 1,000. The company that has sent you the 1,000 or the individual, they have to write that as well. That has to be you, and that sponsor need to have the, for example, IRS involved or someone working with IRS. If IRS is involved and you're doing business with them as well, because a lot of businesses, even private, public, are doing business with IRS. Okay, you have private and your public, and I'm so glad I've always wanted to make sure that even with the tons of fuckery that have existed, that my passion, my compassion, and focus and heart stay true. All right, and the vision, because now it's like, wow, this is amazing. So essentially, back to the example, you keep an accounting, IRS sees it. Okay, this business has so and so. Boop. All right, we'll put it in this little workspace box. All right, and we'll address it when it needs to be in real time. And then boom, you open up, and then there it is. Hey, person that received your sponsorship. Okay, here is some recommendations of when you do the purchases or when you use it for whatever. Okay, make sure you, a reminder, make sure you keep record with that person as well who be doing business, who we also have business connections to. That way we can all balance our books. Hello. Now, some people are like, whoa, isn't that going to get too complicated? No, not necessarily. It may seem like that at first, but trust me when I say that this is definitely a step in the right direction. Have people been doing this before these tools online? Yeah. Yeah. But there's only so many people. Now, with everyone wising up, and now with everyone even understanding how, even with the creation of your own currency, you can create this wealth. Now we have to shift our focus away from how much can we earn because now it's not about earning anymore. Don't you see? At this point, it's not about earning. At this point, now it's about just maintaining what was already given to everyone and all their businesses. And Bossa Nova Cafe Jazz is amazing. I want some coffee right now. I'll drink some tea. So yeah, check that out. I'm going to reach out to the businesses who I bought several products and services from. I'm gonna tell them, hey, let me speak to your accountant. I got something that's gonna help us balance all our books immediately. All right. There's something that we can use that'll help us balance books immediately. And then we just gotta keep it simple and keep simplifying. Keep simplifying. Like I said, part of my mega project is that we get to a point where, all right, now we don't need to do this accounting anymore. Now we can just function purely from the principle behind everybody's principal. The principal PLE behind everyone's principal. Essentially, an infinite open-ended credit system. Okay? An infinite creation of finance. It does not need to go through so much scrutiny as far as money and spendings, because some people are like, well, there'll be people trying to do bad things, and in those people doing bad things, there's always a balance of power. Since there is always a balance of power, how about we focus on that? That's also part of the mega project. How about recognizing a balance of power is this unification? Because anything that's not unification, trust me, it'll get swatted. It always gets swatted. Anything that's not unification, that seeks to destroy or hurt people physically, it always gets swatted. So if you are someone who is thinking in those terms, you need a shaman. You need a shaman. You need a shaman. You need some shamanic medicine. You really do. This is amazing. Many questions I see people may still have. Nonetheless, those questions aren't even obstacles at this point. So yeah, it's not an obstacle anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Like, y'all need to stop thinking of this fear. See, this is why I'm blessed, along with other people, to do the things we do and the passions we have, because we see fun. Iron Man suits, Halo suits, flying saucers for agriculture and camping. Yeah, man. Lots of work to still do and maintain a nice balance, y'all. That's all I have for y'all. Remember, you can use this even for private business. If you're doing transactions amongst yourself with whatever currency, okay, whatever registered currency at least, when it comes to using these online tools that are already registered with other currencies. So anyways, mm, mm, carrot cake, carrot cake. So anyways, y'all, yeah, namaste, happy building. Join the mega project, damn it. I need hands on deck. Your land lubbers.